So I'm here in studio today with an amazing brother,
Too kind.
Hannibal Tabu.
Hello, hello.
So we met years ago.
That thing in Tangiers, right? When we had to rappel out of the building, that was it?
You were you were a writer for the Herald Dispatch newspaper in South LA. And
Yeah, that seems right.
we would see each other at Playboy Jazz every year.
Mm-hmm.
But since then, you've gone on to get married, have a family,
Yes, sir.
become like a regular dude,
So let's slow down now. Let's still be realistic.
car seat.
All right, that's fair. That's in the back of the car.
And you've also started business, Komplicated, with a K.
Komplicated is intended to be a portal for both black geeks and everybody who likes to get down like them, focused on areas of music, technology, escapism, and culture. And as well, it is branching into providing the content. We're going to be working in February with a gentleman named Thaddeus Howes from Northern California, who is one of the most creative writers I've ever known. And his output alone is staggering. He's going to be working with us. We're going to be putting forth that. We have a collection of music essays from a writer named A. Daryl Moten that we're going to be publishing, as well as the stuff that I've put out. I'm putting out some of my own novels that have been previously published, reprinting them on the Komplicated imprint, as well as, using Komplicated to further the work of other people who are doing important things, like Rich Hall II, who just put out the Oya book out of Cincinnati, or my friend Jeffrey Thorne, who wrote on the show Leverage, who has his book, which is called Prodigal, on thrillbent.com, giving these projects the kind of spotlight that they will not get from the mainstream press, that before Arsenio came back, that we didn't even have a hope for any larger camera, pardon the phrase, to be pointed at. And I'm hoping to increase the publicity for them, because if the water rises, all of our ships should theoretically rise.
So you also like music.
Oh, yes, sir. Very much so.
And what's in your ear right now?
I am playing the new Janelle Monáe album to death, because both my little girls love it. They love it a lot. I'm playing a decent bit of pop music. I had to DJ at the LA County Fair for Kesha, and that led me to listen to a lot of Imagine Dragons, a lot of, what's that other thing that she likes? My daughter likes the Lumineers. I will never admit that I really like a One Direction song, but it's true. And I'm also playing some of the new hip hop. Like I really love Intricate Dialect. I love Nitty Scott MC. It's such a great period for music, because there's so much to listen to, and I'm really enjoying hearing a lot of the new things, the newer voices that may surprise me. And then going back to, Jean Grey's still got a great project coming out. There's so much great music for me to listen to. Sometimes it's hard to narrow down, okay, today is going to be a CeeLo day. No. Today is going to be, this new person, Laura, who would you say you're going to hook me up with?
Laura Mavula.
I left your house and 4 people mentioned her name that night. So I was like, okay, this is time for me to get on board for this. So I'm just trying to keep up.
So you're married to an amazing woman.
Yes, sir.
What does she have going on right now?
Oh, my wife. Okay. First of all, my wife, Michelle Tabu, at michelletaboo.com, Myshell. She is a designer and web producer.
She's fine.
Oh, she's crazy fine. She's working on a big nonprofit website right now. She's working on a law firm from Atlanta, their website. She's also doing a lot of logo design. She's worked with the Southern California, it's called Sklark. I can't remember. My mentor, Marsha Bray, is going to scream at me because I don't remember the name of her organization, but it's called Sklark, and my wife has done a lot of work with them as well. So that's her design side. As an actress, she's ramping up to do this action-oriented web series, which I really should not talk very much about. And she's also homeschooling at the same time, both of our kids who are 9 and 3. And for my eldest, who's an actress, she's working as her manager, so she's shuttling her to and from auditions and dealing with the paperwork with Coogan accounts and things of that sort. So she's extraordinarily busy, and yet still found the time to make me French toast this morning. And you know, she's pretty much everything.
So you were brought up, raised here in L.A.
No, sir.
Where are you from? I thought you were from L.A.
I am not from LA. I was born in Illinois. I was raised in Memphis.
What?
I'm a Southerner, and that likely can never change, despite the fact the only time you'll hear my accent is if I get emotional.
So at what age did you move west?
I left Memphis at age 13 to live I lived in Milwaukee for a year. I lived in the Pacific Northwest for 3.5 years. And then after high school, I was like, I have to get away from everybody I'm related to. And then I applied to every school I could in Los Angeles. This is one of my favorite stories. So the guidance counselor at my high school was a jerk. And I went in with my acceptance letter. I'm like, I got my acceptance letter. He's like, oh, where are you going? To some trade tech? I'm like, no, I'm not going to a trade tech. And I'm like, well, I got this acceptance from Chapman College in Orange. He's like, they're actually kind of good. And I said, now I got accepted to Occidental in Los Angeles. He's like, they're really good. And I'm like, and then I got accepted to USC. USC, that's the one. The one that got that reaction, that's the school I'm going to. And the rest is history. I moved down here and the money hasn't run out, so I'm still with it.
Okay. So if you could offer a word of encouragement to a young brother out there who's navigating that junior high school, middle school, high school road, what would you say?
There's two answers to this question. There's the answer I'm supposed to give, and there's the answer I actually did, which is actually also a fun story. The answer I'm supposed to give is keep at it. That everything that you want is waiting for you in the future. The future you is waiting for you to make your way through the things that you're doing now. Things that seem annoying, things that seem tedious, things that seem like they diminish you as a human being. They don't matter. You will not remember, and he will not care, because he is waiting for you to live a much more interesting life. That's the answer I should give. The answer I did give, because I was asked to speak to a bunch of junior high and high school students at USC, and I warned them, and I told them specifically I should not talk to children because I was sleepy, but they wanted me to do it, so I went in there. And the kids asked me about academics, and I said, well, in school I cheated on everything, on every test, on every class, in every possible way I did. I figured out how to use a typewriter. The kids had no idea what that was. How to use a typewriter to type answers to things on pieces of tissue, read them, blow my nose on them, and get rid of the evidence. I figured all kinds of ridiculous ways to be able to do these things, to which some people say, why didn't you just study? But the goal was the same. Whatever I was going through, I just had to get through it. Whatever the grown-ups were asking me, I just had to give it to them long enough for them to shut up so I could get back to what I was doing. In school, I studied Greek myth for a year on my own without any guidance. Just going to the library and finding every book I can about the heroes and about, the deities. And then I switched the next year to Norse myth, because these were the things that interested me that my school was not taking care of. I did enough to keep them quiet. I did enough to keep them out of my way, and I focused on the things that were important to me. I didn't let those things become crime and violence. I wanted those things at certain points. A black male growing up in the United States is going to be forced to look at the question of violence. I simply chose to make sure that wasn't what I needed to do, because I had someone at home that I was afraid of. I was also raised to believe that black boys need fear, because it's the only thing that keeps us in line. My great uncle who raised me said, boys need fear and girls need shame. And if you can wield these two things, you can control pretty much any kid. And my kids have learned that pretty effectively. So, that's the answer. The answer is ultimately get through it, do whatever you have to do. And sometimes that do what you have to do is not exactly what your parents might have wanted.
That was a great answer, brother.
I'm glad you liked it. A lot of people were very angry that day.
Well, I want to thank you for this up close and personal moment, because I know you're running today. You've got to go handle some stuff over at a high school.
Ironically enough, yes. But I have been such an admirer of your work and such an admirer of everything that you do that anytime you pick up the phone, I will be on the other line. I'll be on the other end.
Much respect, brother.